Hello and welcome to the Intel Brief. Today is Tuesday, 3 March. I am your host Daniel, and today we're going to talk about Trump has told the Iranian people to take over your government, but also US officials are insisting that regime change is not the goal. US has sanctioned Rwandan military over their East Congo conflict with the supporting the M23 rebels, and scores of civilians have been killed in an attack in South Sudan. So firstly, despite calls for new leadership in Iran before the strikes began on Saturday, several top US officials have now said that regime change is not the primary goal of the conflict. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Vice President J.D. Vance have stressed that destroying Iran's nuclear program is the main objective. In an interview with Fox, Vance said that in a perfect world, there would be a new leader in Tehran. Well, they've killed the last one, so of course there's going to be a new one. Who would be willing to deal more directly with Washington. But Trump's proposed purpose is to make sure that the Iranian terrorist regime does not build the nuclear bomb. He also said that obviously the president and I would prefer that they become a friendly regime in Iran, but fundamentally, so long as we achieve the goals, it'll be a good, happy outcome. So what? It's a pretty interesting walking back, right? I think everyone would agree that regime change was likely the primary goal when they went into this, and them now walking back on it, to me, likely indicates that they're seeing this becoming less and less likely, due to no one's in the streets as of yet. It is one of the key things I'm looking out for while monitoring the internet, and so far we're seeing very little indication that the people of Iran are willing to try and overthrow the regime. So this kind of leads into the most dangerous outcome here, and that's if the regime doesn't change and it just becomes more extreme. A new, more extreme leader takes over the country, and the regime decide that, making a deal with the US just isn't possible. So they just try and achieve to making a nuclear weapon as fast as humanly possible, because that's the only thing that could ensure their survival. This would never happen if they had a nuclear weapon, right? And they likely know this. So, yeah, definitely some turbulent times with this conflict. And next, the US on Monday announced that they would sanction the Rwandan military and senior military officials for supporting the M23 rebels in the eastern DRC. The DRC government expressed its deep appreciation for the US, calling the sanctions a clear signal of support and for the respect of its sovereignty and territorial integrity. The latest sanctions come as the US brokered peace agreement, which was signed in December by the Congolese president and the Rwandan president, alongside President Trump, is basically failing. So what? I think this is a good move by the US, as it has some actual effects on the Rwandan military, who are almost certainly backing the M23 rebels. They're always going to deny this. That's kind of the game. But there's likely significant intelligence that indicates that they are directly supporting, financing, training, and directing the M23 movement across the border in the DRC, likely to take the natural resources, bring them across into Rwanda to sell them for monetary gain. And also, regardless of this, it's unlikely that the M23 group will withdraw from their controlled areas. So for the DRC to get them back, it is likely that they will have to conduct some kind of military operation, which will be brutal, no doubt. And it also could possibly need the assistance of the West or the UN to get it done. And lastly, an attack on several villages in South Sudan has left at least 169 people dead, local authorities said on Monday. The majority of the casualties, around 90, were civilians, with Regional Information Minister saying women, children, and elderly people were among the dead. Some 79 government soldiers were also killed in the conflict, and has warned that the death toll will likely go up. So what? I thought this is just worth highlighting as, the world is focused on Iran, and that it's possible that other conflicts around the globe will flare up. Like we're seeing the conflict in Afghanistan versus Pakistan. We're seeing this kicking off. It's likely they're going to use the focus on Iran to cover up large-scale violence They know it's not going to make news headlines, well, like massive news headlines at the moment. So they're trying to use it to their advantage to try and make gains, or just use significant violence to achieve their goals when it won't make international media. So yeah, definitely something to keep in mind while this conflict in Iran is going on. It doesn't mean that everything else stops. It almost indicates that other things will possibly heat up. So yeah. Anyway, that's been the Intel Brief. I've been your host, Daniel, and I'll see you again tomorrow. See you.